It's Valentine's Day this week, so I decided to try a hardcore Wedlocke of Pokemon Black. But what's a Wedlocke? Well, I'm glad you asked. It follows standard Nuzlocke rules. You can only catch the first Pokemon in any area, you must give it a nickname, and if a Pokemon faints, it's gone forever. But here's the twist. Instead of a full team of 6, my Pokemon are partnered into 3 married couples, 1 male, 1 female. Once a pair enters battle, they fight together. Switching to other Pokemon is forbidden. If one Pokemon faints, their partner must fight to avenge them, or fall alongside them. Now, obviously, love comes in all forms, and you can be with whoever you want to be with. The male-female pairing rule is just a way to add an extra layer of difficulty. Since this is a hardcore Wedlocke, I'm also using strict level caps, playing on set mode, and banning items in battle. Can we do it? Let's find out. Attempt 1 begins, and I decide to go with Tepig. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, we are immediately thrown into a love triangle, as both Bianca and Cherin want to battle. Tepig comes through unscathed, and after the usual Juniper intro, we name him Cola. We go to Route 1 to find Cola a partner. Our first female encounter is Lillipup, who we name Tofu, and we make our first official pairing of the run. In the next town, the love triangle becomes a love square, as N takes an interest in us too. Luckily, he only has a Purloin and we wipe the floor with him. I managed to avoid an encounter on Route 2, so I hold off on catching anything for now. Just as we reach Straighten City, Bianca jumps us. We are a little low on health and this could get sticky, but Tofu clutches up with a massive critical hit on her Lillipup. Her Snivy fires back with a crit of its own, and Bianca even heals up, forcing me to switch to Cola, who seals the deal with Ember. Since Unova throws about 400 rival fights at you, I'll only update you when something exciting happens. At the Dreamyard, we pick up Garlic the Pansage, then we head back to Route 2 to grab Lily the Purloin. It's time for the first gym, and since we're up against Chris and his Panpour, I lead with Lily and Garlic for an easy matchup. Or so I thought. His Lillipup, which only has Bite as an attacking move, opens up with 2 work-ups while we chip away with Scratch. Then he steals our Oranberry and lands a big crit, putting us in real danger. I switch to Garlic and Lillipup goes for another work-up to get to +3 attack. This could go horribly wrong. We barely miss the KO and he hits us hard with a big bite. Our berry saves us, but it also gives Lillipup another free heal. Then we get lucky. He greedily goes for another work-up and this time Lillipup goes down. That just leaves Panpour, and after a couple of Vine Whips we secure our first badge. I wish I could say these get easier, but Unova's gym leaders are just getting started with us. Fennel sends us on a quest to the Dreamyard, which leads to our first tussle with Team Plasma, and, more importantly, our first encounter with Patrats who love to use Bite. Thankfully, we make it out alive and head towards Route 3. After beating Cherin, we chase down Team Plasma to Wellspring Cave. Before we dive into encounters, I want to talk team building. The gym leaders in this game are no joke, so I need to be really smart with my choices. Once our third pairing is formed, we're locked in, we can't use the box anymore, so careful planning is a must. I'd rather get my third pairing from Wellspring Cave in Pinwheel Forest, so I skip my Route 3 encounter for now. We can guarantee a Drillbur in the Wellspring Cave, but I decide the 50% chance for Roggenrola is worth the risk. Luckily, we get it. Welcome to the team, Golf Ball. We face Team Plasma once more, and surprise surprise, we have another close call with a Bide Patrat. Fortunately, we escape unscathed. Right after, we get thrown into a double battle with Cherin, and let's just say he throws me under the bus. Cherin uses Water Sport, which weakens my fire type attacks. Then one of the Patrats uses Bide. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, Cherin targets the wrong Patrat, leaving the other one free to unleash Bide on Cola. This results in the first death of the run. Rest in peace, Cola. Luckily, Tofu comes in to clean up Cherin's mess. So, with 2 single females on the team, I need to find a partner for the widowed Tofu. On Route 3, I grab a male Audino called Pepper to form a new pairing. Next, I head to Pinwheel Forest exterior, where I catch a Sock. Truth be told, I was hoping for a Timpo, but this is probably even better. I name him Sock. Now, I probably don't have to tell you that Sock and Golf Ball have all the makings of a deadly pairing. Just ask multiple news outlets. However, these guys exceed expectations. They make quick work of N, and we're ready to challenge Lenora for our second badge. I lead with Golf Ball, who eats Herdier's Intimidate. We use Mudslap 6 times to lower Herdier's accuracy. This allows for a safe switch into Sock, who easily takes down Herdier. Next up is Watchog, whose sole purpose in life is to annoy me. It goes for hypnosis, but we came prepared. Sock's Chestoberry activates, waking us up instantly. We then take down Lenora's annoying rat with double kick, securing us our second badge. We chase Team Plasma into Pinwheel Forest, grabbing a Swaddle along the way, which I named Silk. After reclaiming the dragon skull they stole, we make our way to Castelia City. Can we have a moment of appreciation for this skyline shot? I remember playing these games on release day and this just absolutely blew my mind. Anyway, it's in Castelia we grab two very important items, a leaf stone to evolve Garlic, and an Eviolite which boosts the defense of unevolved Pokemon. Of course, we have yet another run-in with Team Plasma, and now it's time for the third gym battle. So I don't really have a solid answer for Burr. Lily and Garlic are both weak to Bug, Pepper and Tofu don't really have the offensive power, and Leavanny is a massive threat to Golf Ball with Razor Leaf. And this is the real challenge of a Wedlocke. You're locked into a pair, you don't really get to swap freely, and a lot of the time it's about choosing the best from a bad bunch. With no access to the box, we really have to pull something out of nowhere sometimes. I lead with Golf Ball, holding an Eviolite for extra bulk. She eats a Struggle Bug and takes down Burlipede with Rock Blast. Now for the real problem, Leavanny. I switch to Sock, just hoping for the best. And Leavanny misses Razor Leaf. Twice. We go for Retaliate, but it doesn't do an awful lot. Leavanny then makes up for those misses with a critical hit Razor Leaf. We're in serious trouble now. Our only option is to hope and pray. But Sock falls to another critical hit Razor Leaf. This could genuinely be it for the run. I send out Golf Ball and somehow she survives Razor Leaf and connects with Rock Blast, taking out Leavanny. We're not done yet though. Burr still has Dwebble. We take a smackdown and Golf Ball misses Rock Blast, which is not ideal. We then take another smackdown, dodging a critical hit, and this time Rock Blast connects, landing 3 times. That's enough to take out Dwebble, winning us our third badge and saving the run. The first few gyms in this game are brutal, but Little Golf Ball has saved the day, and not for the first time. We don't have any male Pokemon in the box, so we go to Route 4 and find Golf Ball a new husband. Meet Shades the Sandile, who comes equipped with the ability Moxie. As we make our way to Nimbasa City, a few new routes open up, so I go on a catching spree. On Route 16, we had a Gothita called Moon. In Lost Lorn Forest, we catch an Unpheasant called Crow. In the Desert Resort, we catch a Sigilif called Ceramic. And in Relic Castle, we catch a Yamask called Shadow. However, disaster strikes on this little side quest. We run into a trainer with a Darumaka, and I get caught in a terrible matchup. Lily and Garlic are on the field with no safe way out. Darumaka wrecks both of them. Thankfully, Golf Ball saves the day yet again and evolves in the process. To fill the gaps, we add Silk the Swaddle and Shadow the Yamask to the team. We're back in Nimbasa, and in the spirit of Valentine's Day, we go on a romantic date with N. He asks to be our Valentine and we say no. He takes it badly and immediately challenges us to a battle. Luckily, Tofu and Pepper are able to put him in his place, and it's time for the gym. During a trial run, we almost lose Golf Ball to an Emolga. Oops, maybe a bad omen considering Elisa has 2 of them, but it's time to battle and we lead with Golf Ball and Shades. Emolga Volt switches into the second Emolga, but Golf Ball takes it out with a Rock Blast. The first Emolga comes back in and then Volt switches to Zeb Striker. Golf Ball lands another Rock Blast, bringing it to just over half HP. We then switch into Shades, who eats up a Spark thanks to his ground typing. Shades takes a Flame Charge, then KOs Zeb Striker with Sand Tomb. We stay in against our final Emolga, tank a pursuit and land a critical hit bite for the win. Somehow we made it through Elisa without losing anyone. Badge number 4 secured. We head across Route 5 on our way to Driftvale City, but of course Cherin wants to battle. Tofu handles Lipard with ease, however Duwok comes in and lands a monstrous Razor Shell, taking out Tofu. Rest in peace my flavourless little meat substitute. Pepper comes in clutch, avenging Tofu and taking out Duwok, Pansear and Tranquil. With Tofu gone, we add Swan the Ducklet to the team. Very creative name, I know. Now, it's time for yet another moment of Unova appreciation. The Driftfield City music absolutely slaps. There is no reason for this to go so hard. When I die, play this at my funeral, and if I don't get up and dance, I am definitely a goner. After some more Team Plasma nonsense in the cold storage, it's time to take on Clay. We lead with Silk and Shadow. Unfortunately, Silk doesn't love me enough to evolve yet and fails to KO Krokorok with Razor Leaf. She definitely doesn't love herself either because after a Swagger boost, she hits herself in confusion. Luckily, she snaps out of it and lands another Razor Leaf to take Krokorok down. She is sitting at 11 HP though, and now Clay's Excadrill is coming in. Excadrill misses Rock Slide. Maybe we have a chance. Nope. Slash lands next turn and Silk is gone. Shadow comes in and tanks a Rock Slide and lands a clutch Will-O-Wisp, cutting Excadrill's attack. But our Hex barely does anything. In hindsight, Nightshade might have been the better move, but I don't think it changes the outcome of this fight. Shadow puts up a noble fight but falls to another Rock Slide. Pepper comes in and finishes off the weakened Excadrill. Palpitoad is no problem and Swan swoops in to seal the win. Despite the heavy losses, we secure badge number 5. So it's back to the drawing board. We add Raisin the Emolga and Moon the Gothita to the team. Now, I know Emolga can be annoying in Elisa's gym, but I was not prepared for how good this little menace actually is. The first battle with Raisin is an absolute massacre. This squirrel sweeps Bianca's entire team in Rival Fight 9005, and I'm feeling unstoppable. But, as always, this game has other plans. The next hour of gameplay almost broke me. We enter Chargestone Cave, where I'm getting an encounter every 3 steps. And just when I think it can't get worse, I run into a Watchog. This thing has Confuse Ray, Hypnosis, and Super Fang. Whoever designed this Pokemon at Game Freak needs to be taken out back and shot. I genuinely believe Watchog was created to be the most annoying creature in existence. If this is your favourite Pokemon, seek help. Anyway, after what felt like years of suffering, we make it to Mistralton City. I need something to lift my spirits, so I go and grab a new encounter en route. Yeah, we're not doing that. Okay, straight to Skyla. And let me tell you, Raisin is him. This is why I love Nuzlocke. I may have an irrational fear of squirrels in real life, but this one is unstoppable. Raisin, paired with his much taller Mommy Goth GF, is able to take out every single one of Skyla's Pokemon. That's 6 badges down and Raisin might just be the MVP. So after the first 5 badges, badges 6 and 7 are traditionally much easier in comparison. However, that's not the case for our next stop, Icarus Gym, as we don't have the luxury of a fire or fighting type here. Golf Ball is our hardest hitter, but she can't 1v3 this gym and I can't risk losing her in Shades, so we need to play it smart. We challenge Bryson and we lead with Swan and Pepper. Swan opens strong, taking out Vanillish with a critical hit Surf. In comes Beartic, who tanks a Surf, then swaggers us. What happens next is the most ridiculous 6 turns I've probably ever experienced in a Pokemon game. Swan kicks things off by hitting herself. Then Beartic lands an Icicle Crash and Swan lives on 1 HP. I try and go for Roost, but Swan has other ideas and takes herself down. Pardon the pun. 2 for 2 on Confusion fails. I switch to Pepper and things go from bad to worse. Beartic confuses him too. Then Pepper hits himself. Then Pepper hits himself again. Beartic then lands an Icicle Crash and then gets the flinch. And if that wasn't bad enough, Beartic lands a critical hit Brian, ending the run for poor Pepper, who didn't stand a chance. Rest in peace, buddy. That has honestly got to be the unluckiest 6 turns I have ever played. So, with no other option, we send in the newly evolved Golf Ball. She tanks a Brine and takes out Beartic with a Rock Slide. Cryogonal comes in and lands an Aurora Beam, but you're going to need to do a lot more than that to take out Golf Ball, who gets the one shot with Rock Slide. Golf Ball saves the day yet again and we secure badge number 7. With Obsidian the Excadrill and Cloud the Galvantula joining the squad, we charge through some more Team Plasma nonsense. Nothing exciting really happens here, but we do catch Marble the Drudigan. However, on the way to Oppelucid, Bianca challenges us to rival battle 12,445. So we start things off with our new pair, Obsidian and Cloud. Obsidian easily handles Stoutland, and Cloud zaps Sinipore with a couple of Electro Webs. In comes Serperior, who's able to survive a Signal Beam, and sets up Coil. This is not good, and Cloud falls to Leaf Blade. Obsidian comes back in, and is able to survive a Leaf Blade, but Earthquake isn't enough to get the KO. Serperior takes out Obsidian, and just like that, the newest pair are gone. Here for a good time, not a long time I guess. With +1 attack, defense and speed, this Serperior is looking like it can be a serious run ender. So I send out the GOAT. Unfortunately, Raisin falls to a critical hit, but in his final act, his static ability paralyzes Serperior. This might have just saved the run, With Paralyze, Moon is able to come in, outspeed and avenge her husband with a Psychic. Moon also takes care of Musharna and the fight is over. I am so sad to lose Raisin, but the show must go on and it's time for the final gym. And in preparation, Crow comes in to partner Moon and we add the new pairing of Marble the Drudigan and Belt the Conkeldurr. Drayden can be terrifying, so we bring out our oldest and strongest duo, Golf Ball and Shades. Fracture is up first and I know he likes to set up with Dragon Dance, so we counter with Bulldoze to keep it slow, which lets us get the kill on the next turn with Crunch. Shades' Moxie ability activates and we get ourselves to +1 attack. In comes Drudigan and Crunch barely misses the KO. Rough Skin and Night Slash take a decent chunk of our health, which is not ideal because Haxorus is fast and hits like a truck. Drayden heals up, so we use Bulldoze, which avoids the Rough Skin damage. It's an easy 2-shot from here with Bulldoze and we get ourselves to +2 attack. Now in comes Haxorus. I probably overthink my move here and go for foul play. I'll be honest, I'm not sure how this move works and at this point I'm too scared to ask. However, it's not enough for a KO, but we luck out massively as Haxorus misses with Dragon Tail. Drayden heals again, which means we can go for Bulldoze to lower speed. Seems like we're quicker now and Shades is able to take out Haxorus with a Crunch. Badge number 8 secured. Before heading to the Elite Four, I go on a catching spree because, let's be real, I'm expecting more casualties. But first, we're hit with the most diabolical dialogue choice in all of Pokemon. Professor Juniper asks if I regret going on this journey. Now, as someone who mashes the A button through these kinds of dialogue, I almost click yes. And the last thing you want to do on a Valentine's themed run is hurt someone's feelings. Speaking of feelings, if you're enjoying this video, maybe drop a like or a comment, that would mean so much to me. Anyway, on my catching spree, I pick up Penguin the Axew, Olive the Dwebble, and Tusks the Bouffalant. On Route 10, Cherin challenges us to battle one last time. We get off to a great start, as Marble immediately gets crit by Unfezant, but still manages to take him down. Liepard comes in, so we swap to Belt, who slaps it out of existence. Samurott is up next, and Belt sadly falls to 2 Aqua Tails. Marble and Samurott trade blows, but Marble takes him out. Cherin's final Pokemon, Simisear, then enters the battlefield. Marble barely hangs on with 1 HP, but falls short of the KO and gets taken down by Fury Swipes. Rest in peace. Shades comes in and cleans things up. Victory Road is much less eventful, and with the team up to level 50, it's time to take on the Elite Four. First, I'd like to introduce our final pairing. First up is Penguin the Haxorus, who is an absolute monster. With high attack and speed, Penguin is able to pull off monstrous damage and is more than capable of taking out Elite Four members on his own. Up next is his partner, Pony the Excelgor, who is here as well, I guess. I decide to take on Marshall first and lead off with Moon and Crow. It turns out Crow can't learn acrobatics, which somehow makes this Pokemon even more pointless, so I have to lead off with Moon. Moon, equipped with the Expert Belt, takes out Throw with a Psychic. Out comes Mienshao. I'll be honest, I forgot to get the TM for Protect and we're at risk from a hard hitting Retaliate. Luckily, Moon takes the hit and takes out Mienshao with a Psychic. Next up is Sock. The issue with this guy is that he has the ability Sturdy, so we can't get the one-hit KO here. I switch into Crow on a very hard Stone Edge. We're quicker and use Fly, which activates Sturdy. Luckily, Sock misses with Stone Edge. Marshall then heals up, but we're able to take out Sock with 2 Air Cutters. In comes his ace, Conkeldurr. We're quicker, so we go for Fly, which leaves Conkeldurr with a tiny sliver of health. We luck out massively as he misses yet another Stone Edge. Marshall heals up and we go for another Fly with Crow. Just like last time, Conkeldurr survives on a slither of health, but this time he's able to connect and down goes Crow. Moon comes in and finishes off Conkeldurr with Psychic, and we take down our first Elite Four member. My plan was to get one of the tougher ones out the way first, and thankfully the next fight is a total cakewalk. Up next is Caitlyn and her Psychic types. We go with the tried and tested pairing of Golf Ball and Shades, and it's Shades, equipped with his signature black glasses, that does all the work here. We're able to take out Ranunculus with a Crunch, and with the subsequent Moxie boosts, we take out Sigilith, Gothitelle, and Musharna with Crunch. That's much more like it. 2 down, 2 to go. Now, it wouldn't be a Dosano Elite Four run without me making some kind of dumb blunder. So, without further ado, welcome to the Grimsley fight. I lead with Pony the Excelgor. Why? I have no idea. I've honestly no idea what I was thinking here. Pony uses Bug Buzz, which doesn't even do half, and we get hit hard with a Crunch. After a Giga Drain gets some health back, Scrafty lands a critical hit Crunch, taking out Pony and getting a Moxie boost. Honestly, Moxie? What a dirty, cheap tactic. If anything, the loss of Pony is character building for Penguin the Haxorus, who now has to take on an entire Elite Four member by himself. Grimsley heals his Scrafty and we put him back in the red with a Brick Break. Anticipating another heal, I use Sword Stance to get to +2 attack. Well, that's all she wrote as Penguin goes to town on Grimsley. We take out Scrafty with Brick Break. Crocodile comes in and gets an Intimidate off, but Penguin doesn't break stride and takes out Crocodile in one shot. Next up is Bisharp, who suffers the same fate. Liepard delays the inevitable with a fake out, but it's only going to end one way as Penguin finishes up his sweep with yet another Brick Break. Now, this hasn't happened in the run yet, but we now have two Widows in our team, Moon and Penguin, and it's totally allowed in the rules for these guys to now couple up, so meet our newest pairing. Maybe they can bond over how disappointing their former partners were. Up next is Chantal and her ghost types, and it's time for this hot new couple to shine. I say couple, it's time for Penguin to shine. Again, I start things off with a Sword Stance, assuming her Coffagrigus will go for Will-O-Wisp. Well, that's exactly what happened, and as our Rossberry activates, it's time to go to town again. Penguin goes on another sweep, taking out Coffagrigus, Golurk, Chandelure, and Jellicent with Shadow Claws. That's the Elite Four taken care of, and it's time to take on the champion, is what I would usually say. But the champion has just been defeated by N, so I guess we'll take him on instead. We are rudely interrupted by a castle, just like appearing from the ground. I know this is a game where monkeys can breathe fire and stuff, but this seems a bit unrealistic. Anyway, we add our final pairing to the team, Olive the Crustle and Tusks the Bouffalant. We catch Reshiram, send it to the box, and it's time to take on N and Getsis. Now, these fights are back to back, and because we're in a Wedlock, if our first pairing dies here, we'll need to use the first turn of the Getsis fight to switch to an alive pairing. So I had to use all 7 of my brain cells to kick this one up. N's team is primed for another Shades Moxie sweep, but his Caracosta has Sturdy and can hit really hard with Waterfall and Aqua Jet. So we start things off with Golf Ball. Zekrom shows off by using Fusion Bolt and we set up Stealth Rocks. We stay in and land a couple of Bulldozes as Zekrom persists with Fusion Bolt. When Zekrom is low enough, it's time for Shades to come in on a Fusion Bolt, which he's immune to. We take the kill with Bulldoze and get our first Moxie boost. Now, it's pretty trivial from here, and we Brick Break our way through his Vanillux, Zoroark and Klinklang. In comes Caracosta, but the Stealth Rocks break his Sturdy and we're able to take him out with Brick Break. Finally, in comes his Archeops, which has Acrobatics and can be a massive problem, but Shades outspeeds and completes the sweep with a Crunch. Now, I'm sure if you're watching a Pokemon video on YouTube, you probably know how much of a problem Getsis is. His team is full of super strong Pokemon, including an illegal Hydreigon, and is really well balanced. It's going to take a miracle to pull this off, and honestly, my plan is to just survive. We're thrust straight into it, and Golf Ball is met with his Coffagrigus. I really need Golf Ball to take out Coffagrigus, as any physical attack from Shades will trigger his Mummy ability and we'll lose Moxie. On the first turn, we set up Rocks and he uses Toxic. In true Evil Mastermind fashion, Getsis is diabolical. He gets to work on a Toxic stall. There's nothing we can do here, and just like me on the weekend, I lose my Golf Ball. Golf Ball had a legendary run on this team, and I can say with absolute certainty we'd never have gotten this far without her. Rest in peace. That does mean Shades is on his own now, and we are able to take out Coffagrigus, but we do unfortunately miss out on the Moxie boost due to Mummy activating. Speaking of mummies, I would like to call mine, as Getsis sends out Hydreigon. No sweet talk, no dinner, no Valentine's Day flowers, just cuts straight to the chase and sends out this nuclear weapon. Shades gets outsped by Hydreigon, who connects with Focus Blast, taking out the absolute GOAT of this run. I find some solace in the fact that he didn't have to spend too long without Golf Ball. Rest in peace. We're in a sticky situation now, but I have one last genius plan up my sleeve. In comes Olive, who has a dream combination of Shell Smash and Sturdy. Shell Smash reduces your defences, but drastically increases your speed and attack. So we Shell Smash, survive a Surf, and it's time to go to work. Oh, never mind. Hydreigon is still faster. There goes my genius plan. Out comes Olive's partner, Tusks, and Hydreigon decides to give us all a small break by missing Focus Blast. Tusk does a small bit of damage with revenge, but we find ourselves staring down the barrel of this nuclear warhead. This time, Hydreigon lands Focus Blast, and we sadly have to say goodbye. Holy shit! Tusk survives on 2 HP, and she connects with Megahorn, taking out Hydreigon. Holy cow! I mean, holy buffalo! We're not out of the woods yet though, as Ghetsis sends out his very own Bouffalant. There's no way Tusk pulls this off on her own, so to give us the best chance, she makes the ultimate sacrifice, landing a monstrous head charge, taking herself out in the process. The stage is now set for our final pairing to come in. It all comes down to this. Penguin comes in and finishes off Bouffalant with a Brick Break. In comes Seismitoad, and I feel confident enough to set up a Swords Dance. An Earthquake does just under half, and we're able to get the KO with Dragon Claw on the next turn. Out comes Bisharp, who Penguin takes out with a Brick Break. It all comes down to this. Ghetsis' last Pokemon is an Electros, famous for not having any weaknesses. That doesn't matter to Penguin though, as he lands a one-hit KO with Dragon Claw, winning us the battle and the hardest challenge run I have ever attempted. That was absolutely insane. I do not know how we pulled that off, but we made it through one of the toughest challenges I have ever faced in Pokemon. From the heartbreaks to the miraculous comebacks, that run was nothing short of a roller coaster. Honestly, I never thought we'd make it this far, but somehow we did. So a big shout out to every single Pokemon that gave their all, especially the ones who sacrificed themselves for the win. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for sticking with me through this madness. My name is Dawsono and I am still quite new to YouTube. I've only been doing this for just over a month, and yeah, I'm just getting started. I have got a bunch more challenge runs just like this in the works, so if it's something you enjoy, maybe hit the subscribe button, or don't, I don't know, do what you want to do, but yeah, that was insane. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.